Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Jaguar I-Pace is in the news, and thanks to the folks over at Autocar, had a nice little sit down with the production planning boss inside of the company, who let loose some interesting information claiming that Jaguar is working on a possible hot rod version of this, an SVR version of the I-Pace, bumping up the suspension, the braking, and the performance. Talking about this vehicle might be able to do 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, which would make it the quickest accelerating vehicle on the planet. Obviously, I am very excited to hear more about this deal. And it's always one of those situations where there's smoke, there's fire. Even though we don't have official information from Jaguar Land Rover, there may be something coming very, very soon. Next up on the list, we get our first little teaser shot of the brand new GT500 version of the Mustang, coming from the folks over the Ford Motor Company. Now, the photograph shows two things definite: a massive heat extractor coming in on the hood, a lot of venting over there, apparently to get a lot of heat out from underneath the engine bay. Also looks to be a very large, possibly carbon fiber wing on the back of it. Now, the trick is we still know little to nothing. There is a lot of rumors that the 5-liter normally aspirated flat plane crank will be making its return into this particular machine, but it possibly won't be normally aspirated. In fact, it definitely won't be normally aspirated. Possibly turbocharged, maybe supercharged. We'll have to wait and see. And making well north of 700 horsepower, possibly making it the new king of the horsepower in the muscle car wars. So, again, it's a lot of talk, a lot of little information coming out, but I think the Ford Motor Company is getting very close on releasing some real deal information. Hopefully, we'll know in the next several months. Next up on the list, we'll talk a little bit about the Corvette. Now, not the FR version, the front engine rear wheel drive, like the ZR1 we're looking at, but the next generation. Because if you've looked anywhere on the old internets, you've seen the mid-engine car doing massive amounts of testing for almost well over a year now. We've seen this vehicle pounding around the landscape, getting valuable information on being able to make this machine the real supercar killer that it could be. Now, here's the trick. I further thought that there was going to be two versions of this machine. They were going to continue on with the FR version. It was going to be the entry-level package. And then the top of the tree version was basically going to be the MR. But the folks over at Car and Driver are claiming a completely different story. They're claiming the C8, aka the MR, or the mid-engine rear-wheel drive version, is going to be the complete package. In fact, it's going to be a vehicle that is going to be mid-engine and bring it to the masses. There's talk, at least according to the folks over Car and Driver, that an LT1 source 5.5 liter normally aspirated flat plane crank dual overhead cam engine is being developed for this particular machine, making north of 600 horsepower. And then the next up version of that machine is going to get a pair of twin turbos, or I guess I should say a pair of turbos, hung on the back of that flat plane crank dual overhead cam 5.5 liter V8, now making north of 800 horsepower. And then the top of the tree version, chances are, is going to get some electrification for the first time inside a General Motors product, being the Corvette. And this particular electric engines will run the front wheels of the machine, adding another 200 horsepower to the mix, making this vehicle make north of 1,000 horsepower. Now, there is one little situation, at least according to the folks over at Car and Driver. They're claiming that the manual transmission possibly is dead forever, that they're working with the folks over at Tremec on a brand new flappy paddle gearbox, an automatic 8-speed that's going to be in transaxle form to actually fit this package into the back of this machine. And actually, if you want to, jump on over to the Facebook page. I got a link to this particular article. They've got some fantastic concept art of what that mid-engine rear-wheel drive Corvette could look like. So it's at least worth a peek. So anxiously awaiting more information, but the folks over at CR are actually claiming too that the first official information is going to come out in spring of 2019. So we got about a year to wait on this particular package. So, but we'll definitely keep you tuned of whatever we hear. And last up on the list, sounds like the folks over at Tesla have gone to work and gone to work quite efficiently. Remember we talked about the folks over at Consumer Reports claiming this vehicle a not recommended machine for ownership, and one of their biggest complaints was the massive amount of time it took, or I guess I should say of space it took, for this vehicle to come to a complete stop. Well over 150 inches this vehicle takes, or 150 feet I guess I should say, it takes for this vehicle to come to a complete stop. So the folks over at Tesla put a firmware update that is inside of the machine. Apparently has got the braking distance down enough that Consumer Reports now are calling this vehicle a recommended purchase, which is exactly what Tesla really wanted out of this particular machine. So we'll anxiously await more information about the Model 3 and all the vehicles that we talked about in this particular broadcast. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. You can still check out a bunch of the Meekum stuff. I got more to put up there. We're getting into the photograph portion of it, some of the cool cars. And fun thing about going to one of those auctions, I always see something I've never seen before and really thought I never would see before, including a Jensen. I will put that up very, very soon. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.